pass that microphone along to Bronwyn there, and Bronwyn, sort of same question to you there around what's great about doing business in the Highlands, and sort of what changes are you starting to notice?
Well, I think I can pretty much say what he said. I'm a local here. We moved here to the Capella area when I was 4 years old, so I wasn't quite born here, but nearly. To me, it's people. There is a number of people here in this room that I have worked with for over a quarter of a century, all with the same vision and the same drive to make our region the best it can be. Over that time, the relationships between those people, I think, have just deepened, and there's a very valuable store of what in a company we call corporate knowledge that has been harnessed and is used to continue these conversations that we're having. Not so long ago, we had the Clean Growth Choices project that Council undertook. Similar sort of thing. We continue to come back together and openly discuss our future, and that's actually a rarity. I know when we were going through the Clean Growth Choices project, a lot of other regions would say to me, how come you get all these people and you've got all these ideas? Because it doesn't happen in their area. And we may take each other for granted, but I think that is a really big plus for our area, the people and the accumulated corporate knowledge. As Peter said, we have been blessed with climate, with deep, rich soils, with mineral wealth, with water. I don't know if anyone here knows, but we actually have in the Faber Dam the highest security water in Australia. As in when we can deliver water. I think I'm pretty right there. Alicia's nodding. Yeah, it's a absolute invaluable asset that we've kind of taken for granted a bit. And as the climate changes, we can no longer take that for granted. So that is, as Peter said, water security. That's another thing we're going to have to put into our equation. The changes that I'm seeing, again, what he said, COVID has changed everything. All of our big companies across Australia saw doing business with small businesses as a risk. You're too small, you might not be able to supply, you might go broke, blah, 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 blah. So they built these massive, long, complicated international supply chains. Then, of course, COVID came along and the plane stopped and the train stopped and the people stopped and all of the supply chains just fell apart. And for the first time since World War II, Australians were faced with food insecurity. That was a pretty frightening thing that we in this very, very lucky country of ours have never, ever had to experience since World War II. So that's one thing. People who Google, follow Google searches, apparently one of the words that's really trending in Google searches is onshoring. And what that is bringing supply chains back onshore into Australia. The other big thing that COVID brought us as an advantage is the rise of what we're now calling ESG. Well, it's been around forever, but now it's in the mainstream press. You can even read about it in the Australian now, which is pretty amazing. We as communities and as humans reevaluated our lives during COVID. The things that might have been important to us and to a lot of people prior to COVID suddenly aren't. So we're now seeing this rise of we as consumers, as employers, as employees, and as financiers expecting our companies to act with environmental and social responsibility. So part of that is engaging with communities. So there's two big ticks that I see as providing the best opportunity for regional small businesses probably since the war. And I don't think those two are going away. We're seeing it every single day in the papers where, another company's been called out for unethical behaviour. And all of that plays into our hands as small businesses in regions. So that's the big change that I see.
Thank you so much, Bronwyn. And the future of business in the region.
We have so much opportunity. I was at the table this morning sitting next to Kim and Rach, and I think we're going to form a group called Small Business Owners Anonymous. It's like a support group we just were swapping a couple of stories about trying to find staff here. And I really think we need to start that support group. So instead of just banging our heads against brick walls ourselves, we can do it cooperatively. Which brings me to one of our big opportunities, AI. Everyone's been playing with ChatGPT so far. Yeah? No?
Yep.
Yep.
Wrote me 3 statements. Media.
Yes, exactly. And it's not just ChatGPT, it's automation. Look at what's happening with automation in our mining industries. The whole Western Australian thing, there's a massive amount of stuff to be done there. So part of this challenge of lack of labour will enhance the uptake of AI and automation in the area. Now, because of our mining background and our agricultural background, we actually have a really good core of people with engineering, mechanical, automation type skills. There's lots of them here, in agriculture, mining, everything. So I see that as a really big opportunity for us and certainly part of our solution to our Small Business Owners Anonymous group problems. We've already got, Swarm Farm. Swarm Farm and there was somebody else from here who both won. Spain Engineering have won, huge agricultural tech awards. That's what excites me.
Thank you so much, Robin. Down to Robin.
2043, the current crop of coal-fired power stations will be closing down. Whether we have more coal-fired power stations opened, I don't know, that's not for me to answer. But this is part of the transition thing that is happening. And that's a fact. The coal-fired power stations are coming to our current crop are coming to the end of their life, whether we like it or not. So that will be bringing a change with it. So in 2043, I see our area as a renewable energy hub. I see it as an ag tech hub. Certainly, the whole livability equation of medical services, education services, yes, childcare, that has to be dealt with. All we can do that I can see from that point of view is to agitate to our state and federal governments. Those things are not in our control. The number of doctors that are put through our universities is not in our control. All we can do is agitate and jump up and down and scream and yell as loud as we can. Just on that note, while I've got the microphone, stealing doctors and nurses and midwives from third world countries is ethically abhorrent, and we need to be training our own, not stealing them from other countries. The other thing that about, as Rachel was saying, is strong clubs, strong sporting clubs, strong community hubs. Strike me down with a bolt of lightning, but 12-hour shifts did a lot.
Yeah.
to destroy that. The Gladstone Rugby Union Club, has all but disbanded. They cannot get teams to play because of the way that the shifts work. So, yes, we do need to have all those facilities, but if we look at the structure of our workforce at the moment and the way our workforce works, it does mitigate against those things happening. So, on the whole, I'm very positive. As I said, I see us as a renewable energy hub, and I see us as an ag tech hub. And Alicia's nodding her head. So, I'm excited about the future for us. We have got so many assets here. If we screw this up, seriously, it's our fault.
Thank you so much, Bronwyn. And last one, please.
Am I able to just add one more thing? By 2043, we will have taken action on the use of plastics. Look at the plastic on the table and ahead of you. I'm very happy to see that we've got glass here today, but we're still using plastic in an unsustainable manner. Ladies and gentlemen, just give our panel members while Peter's still here one little round of applause. Susan, would you go here's a little